Hey, it's Eric G. Around the House is sponsored by Baldwin Hardware. For 75 years, Baldwin Hardware has been known for its first-class quality and craftsmanship in door and cabinetry hardware. As an alumnus of the Baldwin Hardware Design Council, I can say I have seen the details and quality from design to the finished product. If you're looking for a new style and old-world craftsmanship, I can tell you there is only one Baldwin Hardware. Check out what would look great in your home at baldwinhardware.com.
It's Around the House.
Is a part of that mold, right? That's a key thing for us, is the fact that we're not another one that's been rolled off of a roller or a picture or a print, but it's physically molded from either a piece of American oak or, in some cases like the one you bought, that's molded from a 100-year-old train car floor from France. So as we talk about, if it's seen the wars and got plenty of character in it, but that same nail, my cousin Danny was trying to pick it out of the trade show booth. And I let him pick at it for a while. And then I said, hey, you know what? That's actually part of the mold. And he said, why didn't you tell me earlier? And I said, well, it's entertaining for the people walking by to see you work at it. But it's a testament to how realistic that material is and how it feels. And no, you're right. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
When it comes to remodeling and renovating your home, there is a lot to know, but we've got you covered. This is Around the House.
Welcome to the Around the House show. This is where we help you get the most out of your home through information and education. Thanks for joining us today. Well, but one of my favorite outdoor products that I've worked with in a number of years, John Fowler, Outlive, Millboard. Welcome to Around the House, my friend.
Eric, thanks for having me on, buddy. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, man. This is great. Man, I'm a fan of what you guys have going on.
I appreciate it. No, we feel fortunate to have found it. Just a little background. My background is I spent a lot of time in Europe early in my career representing some pretty significant window and door manufacturers, and was fortunate enough to see, some new and unique and different things, and always had a drive to do something on my own, and found this company, Millboard. They're in the UK. They're a third generation family owned company. And like you said up front, they just make something unlike anything else on the market. And yet, as you've done in your shows, I've already seen some of your videos and you've talked a little bit about it in your show. There's so many cool applications for this product, and we're excited to have it and bring it to the market in the United States. I think it's time for people who want to enjoy their space outdoors to have something a little bit different.
There's a lot of other great companies out there that have been making decking products for decades that are composite, but you guys jumped ahead like 20 years in the how it looks and performs. And that is no dig on the other guys out there. It's not close of how realistic your stuff looks, because I can have people come up to that planter box that I made and they're like, oh my gosh, how did you get this finish on it?
Yep.
And they have no idea it's a composite. And there's not a lot of products you can do that with.
Right. No, and one of the things I say, I agree with you, is it's pretty rare to find a product that's unlike and completely different to everything else. A lot of great brands on the market. Everybody knows the names. And yet it's time for kind of a new change. And the people that come to us say, we want something different. We like something new. And ours is just that much different in terms of how it's manufactured and how easy it is to work with, as you've done. That it's pretty rare you find a product that a homeowner and a contractor love, and yet we offer something that addresses both of them, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a really fun start.
Yeah, and you guys have a lot of growth ahead of you, because this stuff, I mean, first off, we'll get into the details here in a second, but one of the things that was really cool was I love people coming over to my house, and we just had family over for the weekend for a graduation party barbecue over this last weekend.
Yep.
And I catch people picking at the little nail.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, it's not going to come off.
That's a famous story for me. The first time I showed this product in the United States was in a trade show in Madison, Wisconsin, in the middle of February, where people are dreaming about their outdoor projects, but they're certainly not enjoying their outdoor projects in February in Wisconsin. But that nail is a part of that mold, right? That's a key thing for us, is the fact that we're not another one that's been rolled off of a roller or a picture or a print, but it's physically molded from either a piece of American oak or, in some cases like the one you bought, that's molded from a 100-year-old train car floor from France. So as we talk about, if it's seen the wars and it's got plenty of character in it, but that same nail, my cousin Danny was trying to pick it out of the trade show booth, and I let him pick at it for a while. And then I said, hey, you know what? That's actually part of the mold. And he said, why didn't you tell me earlier? And I said, well, it's entertaining for the people walking by to see you work at it. But it's a testament to how realistic that material is and how it feels. And you're right. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
It is. And that stuff just is so beautiful. It's so easy to keep clean. And the thing I love about it when I was putting it together was the self-healing ability. It's like it's magic. When I put a screw in, there's no need for Cortex or anything like this. You put that screw in and it disappears, and you're like, okay, if I have to go find that screw again, I'm looking for it.
Right.
I don't just go, where's the fasteners? Oh, it's right here. You can look for the round Cortex hole where they put the Cortex in. No, you're looking for it.
Yeah, no, that's a huge thing for contractors. And obviously for us to be able to show that video, we have to put the mute button on or do the beep button, because you get some pretty colorful language when people do it for the first time, especially contractors. But it's a huge point, because obviously for a homeowner, going back to when decking and people got away from wood or looking at composites, no maintenance. They want to maintain it. They want to enjoy their time, not fix it, not spout it up, not stain it up. And yet for contractors to be able to install that and screw right into it, and the reason they can do that is our top coat, which is molded, is actually heavy duty rubber, almost like a tennis shoe is what we promote.
Yeah.
So, for your part of the world and for a lot of the people that are getting the water right now, or we get the snow, it's incredibly anti-slip, even when it's wet.
Yep.
And yet to install that, you just screw directly in, and that screw self-heals. So you're not dealing with special tools or clips or caps or, all the options that are out there. So it's fun. It's simple. And it's pretty amazing. And people call it magic, but it's really pretty simple when you actually see it happen at the time. So
and it's beautiful to work with. One thing I noticed too is that your boards seem to be a little bit thicker. They're a little meatier than what other brands are out there as well.
Yep. No, our product is it's 1.25 inches thick. So there's approximately 1/4 inch of this heavy duty rubber I mentioned on the top. And this has been proven. This is not a new product. This product's been around since 1976, this company. It's new to the United States, but that's the fun part. That's the fortunate part for us, is showing this to people. But yeah, 1.25 inch thick. It's a wider board as too, Eric, as you've noticed. We have 3 different models. We have one that's actually got an integrated sandpaper strip on it. It's quite interesting.
That was cool.
Called Elastigrip. We got a little sample of it there, but that's not a tape from 3M coming from Minnesota here, but actually an integrated sandpaper strip for your commercial dock applications, that type of thing. We have the one that you use, which is actually molded from the 100-year-old train car floor, which has, as I'm showing here, knots and the rolls, and yet that's almost an 8-inch wide board, 1.25 inches thick. And then our most popular has been the traditional, we call it the enhanced grain. And interesting enough for this is it's, not to get too technical, but this is actually molded from a piece of American oak. More character to it than the British oak. And yet they change that over 6 boards to the mold, and they're consistently changing that. So you always get what we want, which is the character, the variation, the differentiation. It's not that same pattern, but it's a wider board, a thicker board, and oddly enough, and to our benefit, it's extremely lightweight. So it's easy to carry around, and some of the other products out there are so dense. It makes it hard to work with. It's more flexible, right? And so it's a little more jelly and heavy, which to me is harder to work with as an installer and it's somebody trying to put something in. So I love the lightweight, but has that mass to it. So when you put it down someplace, it stays there and you're not fighting it. Right. And to your point, heavier doesn't mean better. So the fact that our product is lightweight, we actually infuse it with shards of fiberglass. So it's incredibly strong, as you experienced with your stairs there, I'm sure. It's got a little flex to it. That's not a defect. We want that. A little easier on the knees doesn't help someone like myself getting up there that you want to enjoy the softer feel on the knees. So
yeah,
I want to work with it.
Yeah, it's impressive. And I wanted to mix those two products together. Around the House will be right back after these important messages. Don't change that dial. We got a lot more to go.
What's up? This is Sticky.
And Satchel from Steel Panther. And you are listening to
Around the House with Eric G.
Yeah.
We love Eric G, and you should too.
When I'm down, I make a call. Got the number written on the wall. Thoughts busy, then I try again.
Welcome back to the Around the House show, where we help you get the most out of your home through information and education. This episode is brought to you by Root Quencher and rootquencher.com. If you want more information about how to keep your trees and bushes healthier and saving water, go to rootquencher.com. Now let's get back in our discussion with John from Millboard. Yeah, it's impressive. And, I wanted to mix those two products together because I wanted to have the really detailed, weathered look of that, rail car floor for my planter, but still have a similar color on the stairs. So it all played well together. And those two complement each other.
Yeah. No, it's fun to have that variation. It's just every time we show it to people, because we do sample people for free, that's important for us because all the stories or all the words that we talk about or photos, you can have all the great photography in the world with the social media and all that. But when you feel this product for the first time, as you did, it's different and you can feel it. So between that and all the different applications, I think that's an important thing for us, Eric. And I appreciate your helping us get the word out a little bit as well. It's not a decking product. And now it's perfect for decks, but we do decks. We're doing docks around the country. We're doing pathways in the Everglades. We're doing outdoor classrooms. It self-insulates. So you can do privacy walls. I'll show you one here in a little bit that you can integrate with real dirt and it'll self-insulate and won't rot. And yet now we're doing it in siding. So performance is incredibly important. Everybody wants performance. Funny enough, because it's a rubber top coat, it's resistant to hail. So,
I hadn't thought about that for our hail people out there, because a lot of people in the Midwest and even in the Rocky Mountain states that have been just getting pelted with hail recently.
Yeah. And, Mother Nature's in charge. I say that to my group and to people we talk with. Mother Nature's in charge when it comes to the elements. But I'll put this material against anything in terms of how it performs, feels, and look.
Yeah, it's solid. And that makes sense. And what I love about it too is, in the Pacific Northwest where I live, and that's only a small portion of our viewing and listening audience. But what's cool is that through the winter time here, which is our rainy season, we get this slime that covers everything.
Yep.
And it might as well be 5 degrees below zero. And I've had rain on the deck. Because on a normal composite deck, you get out there and you're going to eat it.
Yep.
You're going to be on the ground. And I'm excited to have this on there.
No, that's a big point for us is the anti-slip properties, especially when it's wet. This is an easy product to work with too. You can power wash it up to 2000 PSI. Once it gets rained on, it becomes more anti-slip. Certainly for things like we're doing commercial properties, Eric. So you get into a rooftop deck or a patio or a pathway where they want that anti-slip, maybe in a retirement community type thing. The anti-slip properties are huge for us. And yet, as we've shared, so easy to work with. Aesthetically, nothing like it. No exposed screws. It's amazing. And safety is an important thing. I did an interview recently about safety and inspecting decks because everybody wants to spend their time outside. And there's not a lot of options out there that when things get wet or get mold growing on them, that you're going to have those anti-slip properties. And it's not the top pitch, but certainly an important one in certain applications in this market.
Well, you think about it, that's why we have rubber on our tires, right, on our vehicles. And they've been using rubber for so long because it's probably the most flexible anti-slip compound. Otherwise, we'd have something better on our tires on our vehicles out there.
Absolutely. We're not doing wood wheels anymore.
No, thank gosh, right? No Flintstones.
That's right. That's right.
And one thing that I think is cool is you guys have such an amazing color selection, and you guys have some really light colors as well as dark colors, which I think is really cool.
Yep. And I think things are going to evolve there too for us as we grow across, they're now a global company. So having a wide range of colors, the different grain patterns that we've talked about already is important. Some people love those darker charcoal, the burnt cedar like you selected and did. And I think it's beautiful. It's going to be warmer in the sun. Again, Mother Nature's in charge. But sure. There's a range, and it's funny because all across the upper Midwest here, people like those wood colors that, we're in the world of oak and maples. So they want their dark browns or medium browns. And yet on the coast, we get into more of the lighter pastels and the grays. To be able to address that or to look like a cedar deck that's been replaced, except not have the maintenance, is fun. And yet when you feel it, and back to the safety comment, it just addresses, it kind of ticks all the boxes, is what they say in the UK. I'm evolving with my British language, and they're learning that a fixed thing is a screw and some of these things. So, yeah, see, it's funny how, you go across the pond there and the terms change so much. I went with the dark because at my house, I have 90% tree cover over the top of big, 300-year-old fir trees. And so I don't have to worry about the solar gain from it. So, if I had no trees around, would I have gone with the dark? Probably not. I'd have gone lighter, but I have that luxury. And those trees, if I want to remove them, it would take me years of permits to do it. They're not going anywhere. Yeah. No, again, back to my comment again, I say it all the time across all these topics. Mother Nature's in charge. So it's performed in 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And people call and say, because we do pool decks. What is most people put concrete around pool deck and they want anti-slip. Millboard's an option. Now, it's an awesome option. If it's 105 degrees out, though, you're going to want flip-flops. But I think most materials you would. So concrete, you're going to want flip-flops. And yet up in beautiful Minnesota here in January, where we have ice rinks and it gets snow and cold and all the beautiful things that we get, easy to shovel off, repair it. You can put salt on it and wash it away, power wash it off, and it still has those same properties. So aesthetics is an important thing. Performance is an important thing, but there's nothing more realistic. Yeah. I mean, it's to me, it just makes a lot of sense for people out there. And until you see it, and I got to tell people to get a sample, take a look at it. The pictures on the website, you can't get a picture to do the justice. Right. Because when you get it in your hand, you see it. When I first went and picked it up there up at Tyee Cedar up in the Seattle area up there, when I popped up and saw those guys up there, man, I tell you what, it was like, oh, you're not kidding. Yeah, no, it's funny. We've done a number of trade shows. So we've done, International Builders Show and the International Deck Show. We were fortunate enough to win most unique decking product, most innovative decking product, excuse me. Yeah. So it's fun to get those awards, but I really think it's a testament to what you just said. Is all the photos and conversations about benefits are great, but when you actually get this product and you feel it, I mean, the material is so light, it actually floats. So it's pretty amazing to see how it performs in all the different climates, all the different applications. We're doing docks right now where people that are having their docks actually self-level and drop into the water. It's no problem. Millboard can do that and come back up. One of our wins that it's not really necessarily a win, but just a testament to the material is everybody remembers the hurricane that hit Southwest Florida last year. Hurricane Ian was a Category 5, decimated one of my favorite places on earth was Sanibel Island. And we had some huge projects that we had just gotten started with there. And our product sat through 12 feet of storm surge from the Gulf of Mexico.
Don't go anywhere. Around the House. We'll be right back after these important messages. We got a lot more to come.
Hey, this is Ron Keel, the Metal Cowboy from Keel, the Ron Keel Band and Steeler. We are rocking Around the House with Eric G.
Raise your fist!
Welcome back to the Around the House show, where we help you get the most out of your home through information and education. We've been talking decking this hour. A great new beautiful composite decking with John Fowler from Millboard and Outlive. Now let's get back to this conversation. It's a good one.
When you actually get this product and you feel it, I mean, the material is so light, it actually floats. So it's pretty amazing to see how it performs in all the different climates, all the different applications. We're doing docks right now where people that are having their docks actually self-level and drop into the water. It's no problem. Millboard can do that and come back up. One of our wins that it's not really necessarily a win, but just a testament to the material is everybody remembers the hurricane that hit Southwest Florida last year. Hurricane Ian was a Category 5, decimated one of my favorite places on earth was Sanibel Island. And we had some huge projects that we had just gotten started with there. And our product sat through 12 feet of storm surge from the Gulf of Mexico. And they just reinstalled those very same boards 2 weeks ago. So to have it sit in salt water for 3-4 days and then install those same boards, not replace them, I think it's a testament to performance in that type of condition too. So,
well, not only did you have the salt water, but you had it just getting hammered.
Yeah. I haven't seen they come every year, right? But that was an ugly one. That was definitely an ugly one. I knew people had houses down there and stuff that just got tore up. But that is a testament for the product, though, that it could withstand that. And there's a lot of other deckings that it'd be the first for the warranty department going, whoa, we can't cover that, right? Right. No, it's definitely a testament to performance. And to be able to reinstall that gives us a story and also just instills more confidence, not only on our end of it, but the contractors that are putting this material in, that the ease of installation, but the fact that it just survived that, I think proves that Mother Nature's in charge, but this material is superior in terms of performance.
So when you use it like on a screen or something like that, because of that rubber, that's also got to have some sound deadening properties as well to it, because being that flexible surface means that sound isn't going to bounce the same way.
Sound is excellent. The other one to consider that you don't think about is we actually have a phenomenal project that we're going to be promoting globally. Just finished it up. It's in California at a place that shall remain nameless, but you'll know when you see it. It's actually the biggest container home in the United States. So
wow,
it's I want to say it's 9 or 10 containers that are all international shipping containers that have been routed out with custom glass, custom glazing windows. And we did the entire deck area, but the interior walls, they used millboard so they wouldn't have to use drywall. So there's some pretty interesting insulation properties, and yet you have that feel and look of wood on the inside because of the way the material is manufactured. So,
oh, that's cool. So you could have almost that, that board and batten look or whatever on the inside, but you're using a product that's just going to last.
Or you don't think about it, and we don't per se promote it interior because we're talking about outdoor living, but I've had people use it in showers because they want to have that wood look and it won't rot or warp. So that's a unique application as well, where you get the feel of wood, but you can screw whatever you want into it in terms of what you need for the shower. And it looks amazing. Okay. It's unbelievable.
Hadn't thought about that.
So,
okay. See, now I have another project coming up in September. We're doing an outside dog wash area. So on that same deck you and I have been talking about. So it's
just ping me.
Yep, exactly. I'm like, okay, now we're going to do a dog wash area with it. Right. See, I learn every time I talk to you, John, I go, there's another project that's cool. Nice job.
Love to work with you, man. It's great.
Oh yeah, you too. Having a lot of fun with this. And then you guys, I see on your website, you guys have some different fastening systems as far as, support for it, from the little puck things to hold the deck up to even steel that I saw.
Yeah, we offer,
or not steel, but it's a metal decking, metal and composite, right?
Yeah, we offer a couple of different really cool solutions, especially for in ground or on like an EPDM roof. One of the options we offer is a 100% recycled subframe. It's 100% recycled PVC. But it's nice because if you do a rooftop deck and you got EPDM rubber, obviously it's got some bevel for drainage, but you can build a frame out of our 2x2, 2x6, and then you have something to screw into where the screws disappear on the top, and yet you're not worried about your subframe rotting. So commercially, residentially, even we've done golf courses where we do their path and deck outside where it's built into the ground.
Yeah.
You can use this material where, again, you're not worried about the entire system because we're not worried about the top coat with Millboard, but also the subframe system. The metal system that you noticed is called our dual span. Actually, excuse me, it's an aluminum product. Hasn't taken off is, I think, the evolution. I'm sure your customers, your homeowners, certainly contractors in the country, the evolution of steel subframes has really grown around the United States. Companies like Fortress, these types of companies. Steel's really grown. Steel's a little more inexpensive than aluminum. And yet you're able to get longer spans on your decking. So we have not done much with the aluminum just because it's a great solution. But in this country, the evolution of steel or the subframe I mentioned earlier, the 100% composite, but still a great option. And then the self-leveling pucks are great, especially if you have an area where it may be a little uneven and you want to have that. We have pucks that actually self-level, and you can use timber or 100% recycled subframe. There's a number of options you can use to keep that deck level so it can properly perform and drain.
You know what I think is cool about that is that the other application for that is the people that have that concrete patio that they step out of their house, go down 2 or 3 steps into it. They don't have to tear the patio up. They can actually do it with that and still get the solution. Yep.
It's one of the best applications for us is when they have something exactly as you just mentioned, where they want to have a little more aesthetic, a little more maybe anti-slip, but certainly aesthetically a deck instead of that concrete paver that maybe is cracked or eroded or maybe gone a little unlevel because things settle, right? We offer a great solution for that. Between that, pool decks, it's a great solution. And obviously the aesthetics is a big part of that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because one, for a project, you don't have to rip all that stuff out. You can just go right over the top of it, and it gives you a good sub base for that.
Yeah, yeah. You know, we do, you know, things people don't think about. If I can just give you a 30-second tour, I got a little showroom here that I was going to give you a couple.
Give me a tour, man. This is awesome. Let's take a look.
Cool. So what you don't think about is different applications, like you're building a house and you have 4x4 treated posts, or you got a plastic wrap post. Think about posts on the front of a house. You say, well, that's only 8-10 posts, but you want something low maintenance, but it's aesthetically pleasing. This is that same board that you put on your deck right here. You can see this wrap post system.
Wow.
All you're doing is 45 mitering that in, and yet there's probably 60 screws in that you can't see. All you see is the grain pattern. And that's just simply wrapped around a piece of green treated 4x4.
Wow, that's cool.
We do a lot of benches. So you can get into a curved bench like this where people that are using composites are used to when they want to do a circular bench or a circular deck, they have to preheat it or cut it. This actually has half of that heavy duty rubber in the profile. So it bends on its own up to a 4-foot radius, no problem. And
get out.
You think of a privacy wall. This is probably one of the coolest things, I think, application wise, that we offer. If you have a privacy wall, whether it's around a hot tub area or a pool area or just an area where you want to protect it, but you want character and maybe integrate some plants and flowers. We built this one out.
Oh, this beautiful, man.
Integrated. You can put real dirt in that. You could put real plants, real flowers. And yet that's a model from a 100-year-old train car floor in France. So that'll have your screws and your knots. I'll get a little bit closer for you just to show here's your nail right there, Eric, right there.
Yep, there it is.
Just adds quite a bit of character, and yet the top one is actually a reclaimed log. You can't really tell the difference.
Right? We'll be right back with John Fowler from Outlive and Millboard Decking just as soon as Around the House returns. Don't go anywhere. We're going to wrap this one up. Welcome back to the Around the House show, where we help you get the most out of your home through information and education. We've been talking with John Fowler from Millboard Decking and Outlive. Now, if you want to find the videos that I made about this stuff, it's a really cool decking product, and it was a project I tackled at my house. head over to aroundthehouseonline.com and you can find the videos over there. Now let's get back and wrap up this conversation with John.
When we do these trade shows, we always take one of those same boards you have in our vintage color, like a 3-foot board, right?
Yep.
And then we'll put a little sample subframe underneath it. And the important thing is we'll put a catalog or something to give us a little space so you can see in between.
Yeah.
And we'll screw a couple screws in, but we'll leave that on the counter of a lumber yard or at a trade show and just let people do it themselves. And it's the very same reaction because it's really that simple. It's not magic. And yet at the end of the trade show, that board weighs 80 pounds because there's, 150 stainless steel screws into it and you can't see one of them. And if you do see a screw, it's because you've accidentally run into another screw. So
I did that a couple times actually, where I was like, "Oh, wait, I already put one in there."
This is one of the most simple. It's one of the most simple tools we use. It's just a little 3-inch, 4-inch section, but we show people this all the time: is how many screws do you see? And then we show it from the side, and you can see,
wow,
the screws. So it's pretty simple story, but it's powerful too, especially once you get to do it yourself.
Yeah. And I like that you guys have some trims available too. It's not just a deck board. You guys have trims and bull noses and things like that to make things work when you get into decking situations. It just makes that project so much easier to work with.
Yep. No, we do a bull nose. We just offered a new, we offer a square edge, obviously for more your modern look. We just launched one of the new, it's called Slim Board. So our typical boards would be 7 or 8 inches. Now we have a 5-inch. So sometimes people like to alternate those different widths to have it again even further more look like real wood. I don't think you've seen it, but another profile of our cladding that we offer, siding, which is, I'll just point it out because I think it's interesting, is this is actually a traditional true board and batten.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you notice the 4 surfaces, right, you got different heights. But the coolest thing about this, and this we try to reiterate this all the time, is if you look at the 4 surfaces, that's 4 different molded grade patterns.
Yeah.
So they're not all the same. It's not a picture. That's 4 different.
It's not that ruled out, stamped, I mean, it's funny. I look at you have now created this look for me. When I look at deck boards from other manufacturers, I think of it as the particle board with the wood printed shelf that you get out with the oak printed shelf on it at the home center, right?
Right.
Yep. Versus something that's molded and is really meant to look like what it's meant to look like.
And that's why we promote that molded comment, just because you're getting the real board, except not the maintenance, and then the fact that it's consistently changing. I just found out that Millboard's consistently selecting from a specific board package. You can imagine the amount of boards they have, but they'll go through that and hand select the boards, American oak, to show that pattern and just try and repeat that through 6 different boards. So there's nothing more realistic to the look. More importantly, it's nothing more realistic than the feel. And there's a definite wow factor with this product. The fact that it's wider, thicker, feels different. And the color range is great, but I just love all the different applications we hit.
Yeah. So one question I know that my audience is going to ask, how does this compare price point? Because they're like, okay, this is gorgeous. How does it compare to some of the other competitors out there?
Yep, great question. We're a premium product, so we consider ourselves to be in kind of that top 20% of the market. We're not trying to compete down low. I mean, the material is coming a long way. We're importing it all from the United Kingdom. And we have stock around the United States. So this is not something where you call and say, here's what you want. We call to order it. We're distributing it. So we have it here now, the entire package, siding, decking, everything. But we're in that top 20%. So we're thereabouts $18 a square foot. And we found that to be competitive and fair. And then I think the other comment too, that I think both the homeowner and even some of the contractors, Eric, that we run out of when doing projects, like even the project you did, people discount the fact that we're only that top coat. You still have labor, you still have subframe, and we all know no matter what industry we're in, labor is an important thing. It's expensive and
it's huge.
Contractors are worth it in gold. Try to get a contractor to come out to your house in the next week. Forget the 4th of July, but it's challenging, and yet they're worth it. You find a good contractor, it's worth it in gold.
100%. And a good decking contractor is tough to find because there's a lot of guys out there, and there's that 3%, right, that are pretending to be decking contractors that aren't. And there's different, like any labor force, there are great ones, there are good ones, and there's ones that are hoping to be good ones.
And the ones that are using us, I think any product, whether it be Millboard or any window manufacturer, any product is only going to be as good as the install. It's not going to matter. So we get complimented quite a bit on the fact that we do provide consistent, ongoing, everyday training for contractors. It doesn't take 2 hours on a Zoom call, but there's certainly some different things as you experience that we want to walk through some of the basic install. So they're comfortable and confident, and it's going in right for that homeowner, for that owner, that business. And then more importantly to us is that project goes well, but that there's other opportunities, because we've had compliments that there's actually a labor savings in using our product and installing.
Oh, I guarantee there is. Because going in, it went in quick and easy.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go show and tell. One of my favorite things you guys have is the touch-up coating stuff.
Yes.
For all my cut ends and stuff. That works well.
It's fantastic. It's actually a really high-end water-based paint that we use, and it's purely aesthetic. There is no sealing up an end so it doesn't absorb water. We don't do that. This is purely aesthetic, but that material works fantastic. And every question that comes to us, whether it be scratching or heat or warping or, I think like I said earlier, we've checked the boxes with this manufacturer's product, and it's easy to work with, easy to clean up. Again, back to your comment on the touch-up paint, you soften that edge and you put a little touch-up paint on there. You can't tell that that's not a burnt wood. So
no, I couldn't use it in the deck segment as much, because when I was putting the decking was, if you noticed on that, when I was doing my stairs, it was pouring rain and I was getting soaked out there. And I'm like, it's not the day to get the waterproof stuff out and make a bigger mess.
Hey, I appreciate it. I lived in Belgium for 6 years, so I can appreciate the fact that it rains up where you live, just like it did where I lived. I mean, it's coming down hard. So.
Yeah, it's all good. But that's why I wanted to use a premium product at my house, because I knew it's got to be able to stand the test of time, and even though I'm covered in trees, it also means that I get sap from time to time. So something that's going to be easy to clean is a big deal for me, because those little sap things on a non-capped deck is now a permanent fixture.
Right. No, this material they've done testing on things like that you don't think about, but you use all the time. Is anything that has acidic properties. You think of wine and mustard and all the things that you spill on your deck, residue from flowers out of pots or out of planters. You just simply power wash that off and it goes away. So
it's good.
Real easy to maintain.
Yeah. So John, we're ending the time of the show. How do people track you guys down? Because man, we got to get some stuff in people's hands, because this is gorgeous stuff.
Well, like I said earlier, I appreciate you talking about Ty Cedar. We're developing our dealer network. Probably the most immediate way is to contact us at Outlive, outlive.info. We are a .info. Or you can go to Millboard, MILLBOARD.com, and that'll drive you to us at Outlive. But we got a full group of inside sales team that's handling inquiries. And whether it be samples, we'd like to learn a little bit about you and your project or your business, if you're a contractor. And I'm telling you that, as you say, we want to get it out there into people's hands. Once people start to work with this, be it a contractor or a homeowner, the referrals kind of flow through.
Yeah.
So contact us. We'd love to take care of you. And we treat every inquiry the same. I mean, it's important for us to grow this, as we're a newer business in the country, but the product's been around.
Yeah.
And when people experience it, they absolutely love it.
Yeah, you guys were great when I first reached out to you and went, hey, what is this stuff? This is cool. I saw it, I think, on social media. And, man, you guys were right on it. Really cool to work with. Before I got to you, definitely a pro staff over there. So it was very, very fun to work with you guys on that.
Thanks, man. And that social media is big too. We have a Facebook site. We have Instagram site, outlive_USA. Just check it out. There's a lot of great photography on there. If nothing else can inspire you as an architect, a builder, a homeowner. We're trying to show all the different applications, and there's some pretty cool things out there you can get idea-wise, just as you do with your show.
Yeah.
That get people to know that there's other options out there. So
you got it.
Appreciate you getting me on here. This is great.
No problem, John. Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate working with you. This has been so much fun, and You guys out there, just wait till the next project I tackle.
All right. We'll be in touch, Eric. Thank you, and have a good rest of your week. Have a good holiday.
You too, brother. Thank you, John. We'll talk soon. I'm Eric G, and you've been listening to Around the House.
Anywhere beyond the mean, life is a love song, let's be lovers. We're all over the radio. Take my hand, I know where to go. All over the radio with you.
Hey, it's Eric G from Around the House. Are you planning a decking or siding project this year? If you are, you've got to check out my friends at Millboard. Millboard is a completely different kind of composite decking and cladding that enhances outdoor spaces with enduring distinction. Hand-molded from the finest oak, it realistically mimics the natural grain and color of premium hardwood. If you're looking for something that doesn't look like plastic and instead real wood, check out millboard.com. Make sure and check out that interview we did just a few weeks back. That's millboard.com.